Welcome to our spine-chilling countdown of the most haunted places in Washington state. From abandoned hospitals to spooky saloons, we'll be exploring the chilling history and paranormal tales that make these places hotbeds of spectral activity. So buckle up, grab your EMF reader, or just a teddy bear if that's more your speed, and get ready to explore the top haunted places in Washington state that will give you chills. If you love ghost stories and eerie locations, you're in for a treat. Nestled in the heart of Washington state, shrouded by towering pines and a perpetual blanket of mist, lies the Black Diamond Cemetery. The cemetery dates back to the late 1800s, a time when coal mining was the lifeblood of the region. But tragedy struck this small community. Mining accidents were a grim reality, and many lost their lives in the pursuit of black gold. Legend has it that these unfortunate souls, their lives cut short, still wander the grounds. Visitors have reported strange lights flickering between the headstones, disembodied whispers carried on the wind, and an overwhelming feeling of being watched. One particularly chilling tale speaks of a phantom miner, his face forever etched with the grime of the mines. He's said to roam the cemetery at night, his pickaxe dragging behind him, the mournful clang of metal against stone echoing through the stillness. Some say he's searching for his lost comrades. Others believe he's trapped, forever bound to the place where he met his untimely end. Whatever the truth may be, one thing's for sure. The Black Diamond Cemetery is a place where the veil between our world and the next wears thin. So if you ever find yourself wandering through the mist-shrouded paths of this eerie graveyard, remember the miners who toiled and perished beneath the earth. And if you happen to hear the scrape of metal on stone, well, don't look back. You never know who or what might be watching. Now, if you're looking for a place with a little more spirit, then mosey on down to Snohomish, Washington, and pull up a chair at the Oxford Saloon. This ain't your average watering hole, folks. This place has been serving up drinks and ghostly encounters since 1889. Back in the day, Snohomish was a wild west town full of loggers, miners, and let's just say a few colourful characters. The Oxford Saloon was the heart of it all, a place where fortunes were won and lost, brawls erupted on a nightly basis, and, well, let's just say not everyone made it out alive. One of the most well-known residents of the Oxford is a spirit named Henry. Henry was a gambler, a bit of a scoundrel, and by all accounts a regular at the saloon. One fateful night, during a particularly high-stakes poker game, Henry met his demise. Whether it was a jealous opponent or just bad luck, no one knows for sure. But they say Henry's spirit never left the Oxford. Patrons have reported seeing him in the reflection of the antique mirror behind the bar, a ghostly figure still clutching a deck of cards. Others claim to have felt his presence beside them, a cold breath on their neck as they sip their drinks. And then there's the piano. It's said to play on its own even when no one's around, so if you're ever in Snohomish and feeling brave, swing by the Oxford Saloon. Have a drink, soak in the history, and who knows, you might just catch a glimpse of Henry or hear the ghostly melodies of the past. Chapter 3. The Mount Baker Theatre, where the show goes on and on. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're heading to Bellingham, Washington, home of the majestic Mount Baker, and a certain grand dame of a theatre with a penchant for the dramatic, both on and off stage. That's right, we're talking about the Mount Baker Theatre, a place where the show, it seems, must go on, even after the curtain falls and the lights go out. Built in 1927, this opulent theatre has seen it all. Vaudeville acts, silent films, grand operas, you name it. But behind the velvet curtains and glittering chandeliers lies a history whispered in hushed tones, a history that suggests not all the performers take their final bows when the night is over. One of the most persistent tales revolves around a former stagehand named Frank. Frank was a fixture at the Mount Baker Theatre, a man who knew every nook and cranny of the building, every creak of the floorboards, every sigh of the ventilation system. But one day, Frank vanished without a trace. Some say he met with an accident within the theatre's labyrinthine corridors. Others believe he simply decided to take his final bow and never return. Whatever the truth may be, Frank's presence is still felt within the theatre's walls. Stagehands have reported tools going missing and reappearing in odd places, lights flickering inexplicably, and the distinct feeling of being watched from the shadows of the balcony. Some even claim to have heard Frank's gruff voice echoing through the empty theatre, a ghostly stage whisper from beyond the grave. So if you're ever in Bellingham and have a hankering for a show, take a chance on the Mount Baker Theatre. You might just catch a glimpse of Frank adjusting the lights, or hear the Lady in White's mournful song echoing through the rafters. Chapter 4. Thornwood Castle, a fairy tale with a twist. Now, who doesn't love a good castle? The turrets, the tapestries, the secret passageways, and maybe a ghost or two thrown in for good measure. Well, get ready to step into a real-life Gothic romance, because we're heading to Lakewood, Washington, home of Thornwood Castle, a place where history and hauntings intertwine like ivy climbing ancient stone walls. Built in the early 1900s by a wealthy lumber magnate, Thornwood Castle is a vision of Tudor Gothic splendor. But beneath its fairy tale exterior lies a darker side, a history steeped in tragedy and whispered tales of restless spirits. The castle was built for the magnate's beloved wife, Anna. He spared no expense, even importing entire sections of a 400-year-old English manor to recreate a sense of history and grandeur. But tragedy struck when Anna died just a few years after the castle was completed. Heartbroken, the magnate eventually remarried, but the shadow of Anna's death lingered over Thornwood. It's said that her spirit never truly left the castle, forever bound to the place where she experienced both great love and profound loss. Guests and staff have reported seeing a woman in white wandering the halls, her mournful cries echoing through the empty rooms. Some believe it's Anna searching for her lost love. Others say she's trapped, unable to move on from the earthly realm. But Anna isn't the only spirit said to roam Thornwood's halls. There's also the tale of a young boy who drowned in the nearby Puget Sound. Legend has it that his spirit found its way to Thornwood, drawn to the castle's warmth and grandeur. Guests have reported seeing the ghostly figure of a child peering out from behind curtains, his laughter echoing through the corridors. Chapter 5. Northern State Mental Hospital, where the walls still whisper. And now for our final stop on this spine-tingling tour of Washington's most haunted locations. We arrive at a place where the weight of history hangs heavy in the air, a place where the echoes of suffering and sorrow mingle with the whispers of the forgotten Northern State Mental Hospital in Sedro-Woolley. Built in the early 1900s, Northern State was once a beacon of hope, a place where those struggling with mental illness were promised care and treatment. But as with many institutions of its kind, the reality was far more grim. Overcrowding, understaffing, and questionable medical practices cast a dark shadow over Northern State's legacy. Stories of patient mistreatment and neglect abound, and it's said that many souls breathed their last within these walls, their pain and suffering forever etched into the very fabric of the building. Abandoned since the 1970s, Northern State stands as a haunting reminder of a bygone era in mental health treatment. The buildings are crumbling, the paint peeling, the windows like vacant eyes staring out at the world. But it's within these decaying walls that the true horror lies, for Northern State is said to be one of the most haunted locations in all of Washington. Visitors and paranormal investigators have reported a chilling array of phenomena. Disembodied voices whispering through the corridors, shadowy figures darting past doorways, and an overwhelming sense of dread that permeates every inch of the property. Some claim to have felt unseen hands tugging at their clothing, while others have heard the gut-wrenching screams of former patients echoing through the empty wards. Northern State Mental Hospital is a place where the veil between our world and the next seems to have been torn asunder. It's a place where the pain of the past lingers, where the whispers of the forgotten echo through the halls, and where the line between reality and nightmare blurs. Until next time, sleep tight. Thanks for joining us on this eerie journey through Washington's haunted places. We've delved into the dark corners of history, uncovered chilling tales, and maybe, just maybe, encountered a ghost or two along the way. So, the next time you find yourself in Washington State, remember the tales we've shared and tread carefully. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more spine-tingling content.